Hello, everybody. It's Edison and HeXharrison. We decided
Good
to
afternoon,
jump into a
good
live
evening,
stream.
good morning.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Are you?
Of course.
Are you sure? Yeah, we're just going to jump in and do a little chit-chatting, randomized, random Rock Edison's Random Pulse and Hex Roadshow. Rockin, Random Pulse, Hex and Pulse Roadshow. Something like that.
I'm just posting a link to this on my Twitter.
In your Twitter. I need to save this. Boom. There we go. I didn't save that before, but now it's saved. So we have the correct thumbnail. Yeah. See what goes on around here. Well. So, yeah, maybe you do a post up. Yeah. So, we did a... we did a test here to get the bandwidth straightened out for StreamYard on my end. As some of you guys know, I'm behind the China firewall, which means I need to use a VPN to access YouTubes and the likes and the Twitters and the so on and so forth. But, and that was not doing a very good job of uploading through the VPN, but I found out that StreamYard was working fine without a VPN. So StreamYard talks to YouTube. So all I have to do is get to the StreamYard front end, which is not blocked. So I basically filter StreamYard out of my VPN. Then that means anytime I use StreamYard, it just doesn't go through the VPN. And it works better. And yes, better stuff. So
Seems to be working fine this end. So that's all good.
well, let's see
And
how
I
that
have
works.
my own story of woes to tell. I'm currently using 4G to stream. How about that?
Yay, 4G stream.
But apparently I've got my fibre cable engineer arriving tomorrow morning to hook me up. So I too shall be on the information superhighway soon, before long. So fingers crossed for that one.
Yeah.
So yeah. In the meantime,
So you
I've just
will you will be back to fiber, right?
Yes, that's the plan.
That's awesome.
The computer says that I'm ready to go. I'm all ready, and I don't need a telegraph pole anymore, apparently. So let's see how that goes once the engineer gets here tomorrow. But anyway, hey ho. In the meantime, I'm busy harvesting.
Yeah.
And guess what I've been harvesting?
Have you been harvesting something, Tim?
I have indeed.
and what prompted you to do that?
Well, I was told in many uncertain terms to get my S together, so that's what I did, and I've been doing a daily harvest. For those of you who don't understand what we're talking about, I'm talking about the testnet and harvesting incentive tokens. Yay!
Harvesting those $46 incentive tokens, I guess, is the testnet.
Yeah.
Testnet. Let me see what the testnet price is right now for incentive tokens. Let me check it.
Yeah, go on.
Incentive token right now is worth one incentive token. One incentive token is $339. Yay!
Well, that's good.
I would like to advance straight to go.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing,
Yeah.
harvesting those, and then providing liquidity using the incentive token, and then restaking that. So that's that's
Feeding that
definitely,
back into the farm, right?
feeding it back in, gaining more incentive tokens, harvesting them, and then putting them right back in. I'm boosting up my pulse pair at the moment, which is over 11,000 now.
Your okay, so the incentive and pulse
pair, yeah.
Okay, so you've got 11,000 PLP tokens in the pulse incentive token farm. right?
That is correct. Yes.
Nice. Well, that'll get you a
it was
couple of dollars a
6,000.
day, right?
Yeah, it's not doing badly. Some of them have different APRs, but again, we're all playing with monopoly money at the moment, so
Yeah,
it's not something to get too excited about. But it's still very interesting to see.
We're very liquid in monopoly money right now, but
Oh yeah,
it's nice to see the mechanics, get a feel for them, see how they work. I mean, yeah, I think that I'm going to be ready when it launches, at least for all of the PulseX, Pulse Chain, bridging. I'm going to be quite ready for all that stuff. I've got a handle on it, so yeah.
yeah, I'm getting a handle on it.
You're getting there.
Yeah,
So,
I think you've got more of a banister on it, and I'm getting a handle on it. You've got more of a banister, so you're a little bit further along than me. But like I said, it's quite a. I wouldn't say it's a massive learning curve, but it's definitely can be quite complicated if you're not used to it. But once you've done it a few times, it becomes quite it becomes quite easy, and I can kind of relate it to downloading stuff on the internet by looking for links and adding in promo codes, and then going here and then going to your checkout box and then putting it's a similar thing. Once you've done it a couple of times, you get that muscle memory. So that's what I've been practicing.
One pro tip from my side is to use the info section on PulseX. Use the info section, look at the pools, and look at the token list, and click on a token, see what its price is, see what its liquidity is, see what its return is, and also you can view those on Pulse Explorer. Right,
yeah.
on the Explorer, and grab the contract address if you need to add any of those in to your wallet or to the PulseX app, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and that is kind of things that if you do it a few times, you get that muscle memory, and then that just helps you to become a little bit more fluent for when it goes live. So you kind of get a head start on some other people that maybe don't quite know how to create a liquidity pair or what is a liquidity pair, because there's a lot of vernacular and language that you have to kind of get before you can understand what's going on. So
I'm going to see if I can burn some tokens right now. Let's see what happens.
There you go.
Well, I
do hope they don't have Her Majesty's face on them. You know, that's illegal, sir.
Well, if they do, she just got burnt. But yeah. So yeah. The info, guys, use that info tab. If you're not using it, get familiar with it. Get familiar with how to find the information that you need. Right?
I think the one of the easiest things for me was to be able to get each token's contract address, and in whether it's Etherscan or whether it is in Pulse contracts, there is a little copy button. You don't even need to drag, select, copy and paste. It's already done for you. So
yeah,
that is quite handy.
Copy icon.
There's a little copy icon, and then you go straight to MetaMask, add new token, custom token, paste it in the PRC area, and off you go. Everything else is done.
I would say that if you're in the tokens info page, I would guess that they will put a token address copy icon on the token page itself, so you don't actually have to go to Pulse Scan and then copy it.
That would be a nice idea if they're listening.
Yeah,
please.
I would bet you that it's a detail they just haven't gotten to yet, but it's probably in the plan. I can't imagine them not doing that. But yeah. But it all looks pretty good.
I do like. It is a nice designed website. It's clear. It's very functional. and I mean, to me, everything just seems to work.
It's
I'm
nice,
guessing
yeah.
there's some functionality that isn't ready, but from what I can see at the moment, everything's working fine.
Yeah, it's clean, it's usable, it's to me it's got good contrast, it's easy to read.
Yeah, I like
don't
it.
have to squint to see too much stuff, right? But I really like it. Now let's talk about we have a new way to earn pulse, don't we? That we discovered,
Yes, I
right?
think. Yeah, I think
Talk
you're
about
talking
that.
about the other website that's quite green and easy to read.
Well, the thing is that the Mintra staking function is, I think it has been live for a while. I just hadn't
Yeah.
had time to get into it, but staking your Mintra now is there, and I was actually surprised I did not read into it that deep to see that it would yield Pulse tokens. So yeah, I've been getting some nice little free Pulse,
Sure.
free Monopoly version of Pulse on the Monopoly chain.
And I do like, again, that's another nice website. Shout out to Gerardo.
Yeah, it's clean. Yep.
It's a nice website, but I do like the fact that you can pull your staked, your yield, your Pulse yield. You can pull it out at any time.
Yeah, and of course you can
Which-
unstake it at any time as well.
Yeah.
Right. But you can just go, oh hey, there's some new Pulse in there. Let me grab it out and pair it up with something over here in Pulse X, or add it to a farm or whatever. It's just more available Pulse. But let's see how it goes. Of course, that's going to be based on I'm going to guess it's going to be on the NFT platform fees that will be paid in Pulse. So again,
Yeah.
I'm not 100% familiar with the details, but I'm guessing that yield comes from fees, right? A
Yeah.
percentage of said fees.
Which is nice to be able to get a percentage of the fees, which is,
Yeah.
which again, it's money for nothing. I mean, what I do like about all this is the fact you can earn a passive income without having to chart watch all the time.
Yeah, you don't.
You can
just let
kind
it
of
run.
do a daily. I mean, going back to the Pulse chain, you can harvest your incentive tokens on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. It takes you 10 minutes or maybe even 5. You can claim at the moment I'm playing around with the ETH. So I'm going to the Rinkaby faucet and getting the free ETH and then bridging that over to the Pulse chain, having a play with that. That's all good.
Yeah.
it's
So
just
my
things
daily
to get used to.
My daily routine starts with checking the Pulse validator, right? Go in there,
Right.
seeing, just checking it, just keeping an eye on it, clicking that button, popping them open. I'm delegated to two guys. I'm delegated to David Feeder and Huddle Dog.
Those are
And
the ones
shout
on it,
out to
yeah.
those fellas.
Big
And
fan of
so, yeah,
David's work.
I just kind of go in there daily to gauge, just to gauge what the yields are for now. I don't think that the yields early on Pulse delegation is going to be anything until it ramps up. But then I grab my free test ETH. Go to the Rinkaby page, grab my test ETH, and then I go to the Pulse bridge. I bridge that test Ethereum over to Pulse chain. So daily I use the bridge, right?
Yeah.
And again,
I tried to do that today, but I wasn't outside of my 24-hour window, so I still need to wait till tomorrow to get some more ETH.
Yeah.
So
time in the 24 hours is a bit tricky, but anyway, I go in and I bridge that over daily so that I'm just really aware of the bridge, right? I'm used to
Yeah.
using it on a regular basis. That's just going to set me up when it's time to launch. And so once I get that ETH over, I pair it up with Pulse.
yeah.
And I put it into liquidity with Pulse, And I literally do that daily. Add that liquidity, add that, or
Yeah.
get the free, bridge it over, add to the liquidity pair, leave it there. Now, whether I'll do that when Pulse Chain Mainnet launches or not, I can't say because I don't know what liquidity I will be providing.
Am
But
I
I'm-
right in saying at the moment there isn't actually a farm available for those two pairs? Is that correct?
No. For ETH and Pulse, no, there's not a farm. But
Yeah.
but
But you can still add
that's-
liquidity.
Yeah, I still add the liquidity,
Yeah.
just again to go through the process. So and then just build up those PLP tokens. Just keep adding to it every day. And so that said, I'm pretty sure that I will contribute into the farms, and obviously that means you need to provide liquidity. But so far, it looks to me like the farms and the pools are pretty, at least for me, pretty no-brainer. Early days calls to make, right? Moves to make. Of course, the pool was quite nice. I like the fact that it was capped at 10 million. I like that we were yielding those party tokens. Then we could take those party tokens and we could contribute them into I think it was a Pulse or a Pulse X farm, right?
Yeah, I think there's.
So-
Yeah, there is one available. I'll have to. I can't remember offhand which one it is, but
Well, I'll
there's
just
definitely
look.
a
I'm
pair
here.
there. Yeah,
I'll
check
just
it.
take a look. I'm here. So it was, it's Party and Pulse. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. And then, so the nice thing about the incentive, so obviously I think it was last week or 10 days or so ago, we added 2 new farms with Pulse Incentive and Pulse X and Incentive, and that's kind of what we were talking about before. But so far, the Pulse X kind of moves seem to be pretty good early on, and then adding Pulse into farms, adding it
Yeah.
as liquidity for PLPs to stake in farms, I think looks pretty tasty. And especially if you have any amount of Mintra that you can now maybe generate some more Pulse with. We have no idea what Liquid Loans is going to do. I think it's going to be a while before we're able to test any of the stuff on there. And
Sure.
maybe it's good because, it'd be easier to digest after
Well, I was
you've
going to
used this
say,
for a while.
I don't think my brain can take any more learning at the moment, so I'm glad that it's a little bit delayed because, I mean, just keeping up where all my tokens are is a game in itself, but it's certainly very
Yeah.
important. And obviously, because it's testnet, you do have the kind of monopoly money vibe, but obviously you need to kind of get into a routine because it's easy to lose a few thousand tokens if you don't know where you put them, and I've done that. What are these?
Yeah, we couldn't find them. But here's the thing. I think for anybody out there that really wants to get to know this stuff, it just get yourself a routine, make all the moves daily, right?
Yeah.
That you at least not harvest all of your incentive tokens, restake them into the pool.
Yeah.
Doing the bridge exercise, staking that ETH into some liquidity pool, just again getting used to how the liquidity kind of mechanism works, how the tools work. But yeah, having that kind of set routine, like I said, mine is check validators, get free, test ETH, bridge said ETH over, take ETH, pair it with Pulse into the liquidity pool. Then I go in and I harvest all of my incentive tokens. And once I've done that, I go in and I provide the liquidity for incentive or Pulse or incentive in PLSX.
Yeah.
Then I stake those PLP tokens back into the farm to earn more and more and more and more.
I know, it's such a great thing. It's just
And
fantastic.
it's like the amount of yield that I'm getting every day, like in in funny money, USD value. It's like, what the hell? This is crazy. That's why I keep tweeting out like I'm a testnet gazillionaire, right?
Sure.
So,
So I've just got a call from someone. I've got to mute this. Hang on a second.
Can you mute it?
Yeah. There we go.
Well, let me mute myself.
Yeah, so like I said, Rock has actually been teaching me all the ropes regarding pulse chain and how it all works. So
Give me a second.
shout out to him for that. And obviously I'm fairly new to all this and going through all the ropes. I was lucky enough to be at the 2nd year anniversary of Hex in London, where I met some great hexagons, including Hoddle Dog and a few other great guys. So yeah, I'm just enjoying the community and enjoying the journey right now. So, but getting my feet wet with the Pulse Chain network on testnet is just really good because, yeah, it's. I mean, obviously everyone's waiting for the launch, you know, when mainnet launch and all that. We've all seen the tweets. Hey sir, when mainnet? So, I mean, like I said, play with testnet, get your feet wet, and I'm sure that when it goes live, it'll all become clear what the possibilities are for creating liquidity, for harvesting the incentive token, restaking the incentive token, and it's just I mean, it's basically free money, wouldn't you say? The yield that you get from all that is just free money, no?
Well, I mean, yeah, sure. It's free in that you are locking your assets to earn yield, right?
Sure.
I mean, you know, yeah, it's yield. So, you know, like providing liquidity, you're providing your tokens to allow people to swap between two pairs. You know, in you know, by having those there, you're providing the value, basically.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Well, as I say, it's interesting times, and I did mention previously that because all this is kind of decentralized, which is the whole point, is you are becoming your own bank, and therefore you do have to take responsibility for your own transactions and your own kind of. You do kind of really need to learn this stuff a little bit before you can dive in. And also you need to take your online security a little bit more seriously than you possibly did in the past. So I do get about 6 or 7 emails every week asking me from various exchanges and various, even a couple from MetaMask wallet, basically to say, somebody logged into this, and if you could just click this link to verify this and that, and then it's just like, nope. Sorry, nope, bye. So, you know, it's yeah, you kind of got to take it a bit seriously.
I've got lenses on my eyes that filters all that crap out.
Well, yeah.
I've got the pair of sunglasses that filters out all the scam. All the spam and the scam. I don't even see it scam. Because it's like, bye. What was that? Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah, well, as I say, I mean, I did fall, unfortunately, when I first came back to the UK last year. I did fall for the post office scam, which is basically they send you a message to say there's a parcel trying to be delivered to your house. The guy tried yesterday, but you weren't in. Please send your address details, and also there's a payment for next day delivery of £2. So of course you sign up all your information.
You just go click through. Okay, I'm done. Back to my dinner.
Well, literally 2 days later, I get a message on my phone saying somebody's trying to order Deliveroo. Would you like to approve this transaction? And it's like 2 days later, can you approve this transaction for a 14-inch pepperoni pizza? And I'm like, what? So then I called my bank and I said, I think my card's been compromised. So luckily the bank didn't didn't lose any money. They stopped the charges, but they kind of said to me like, well, didn't you realise when they were, you know, didn't you think to contact us sooner? They said, and I went, oh. So what my point is, it happens to the best of us. It can happen. So just be very careful. So don't click links. Don't. Again, if people send you messages to say to you about your account or this or that, like my mum used to say, if it's important, they'll always ring back. So just ignore them, and if chances are you'll never get an email again regarding that, because they'll just move on to somebody else. So
yeah, well,
anyway, I just thought I'd share that little gem of knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the theme, again, because I've been involved with game development for so long, you don't know how many people end up compromising networks in the past, at any company for that matter, by clicking a link on a company email and, oh God, somebody's got access to our network. But with game development, obviously, there's a lot of trade secrets and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, the security is pretty stiff, and even if you join a new company and you already know all the security measures, you still have to go through the security orientation, you know. Yeah. So that stuff's hammered in our heads, you know.
Well, the funny thing is, I read a book by Kevin Mitnick, who was one of these hackers back in the 90s. He used to hack AT&T with. I don't know if you saw that movie back in the 80s where the guy finds a little Coca-Cola ring pull and he unscrews the telephone and he just clicks the contacts and gets free calls on an AT&T Marbell phone kind of thing back in the day.
Yeah.
But anyway, he wrote a book, and he was
that
saying
dude.
that,
yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, he wrote a book, and he was saying most of the hacks are done by social engineering, not necessarily by brute force sending a link and hoping people are going to click it. You're more likely to get a code or a password from the receptionist just by calling her up and say, hello, I'm blah de blah from blah de blah, and they'll you know, pretend you're working in the same company, and you get all the information you need. So that was, I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah. Well,
I recommend that book, by the way.
If you don't mind, I would like to speak about some free tokens we've gotten recently.
Yeah, go on then.
You know, so we got some PLSD and we got some Hedron. Obviously, we just created some new stakes. We claimed some new Hedron and minted
that
some new
PLSD was
Hedron.
quite a bit of a drama when it first launched. I thought that was quite interesting.
Well, I mean, look, I here's the thing. I looked at it and checked into it, and then I was watching a stream, and I think it was it Orca or Hex Machina? I can't remember who was doing the stream. I tweeted about it, but the guy they were talking about it, the guy popped in the Hex Info. He popped into the comments and said, "Hey, I'm here, man. I'll come on and talk about it if you want." And he came on, and it's like, okay, you know, I knew I kind of knew that it was going to be fine. I had already seen that some people had looked at the code and they're like, "Look, there's no problems here. You're not going to lose all your money by claiming this." And anyway, I thought that was a bit of high drama, to be honest. And you know, I do notice that we are protective of our community.
You mean the hexagons,
yeah? But for a community who's called scammers a lot, you'd think we'd be a little bit more forgiving. Just like, scam! Oh my God, it's a free token, it's a scam! You know. But I mean, in the case with Hedron, it was pretty simple. It's like, well, it's a free token. I mean, I think that's pretty good. By the way, I've mentioned this before, and I'm going to say it again. My first hex was free. Yep. So Richard Hart gave me free tokens. Alex from Hedron gave me free tokens. And Hex Info gave me free tokens. Yep. So, and by the way, so just a little bit about Hedron real quick. Just kind of layman information is that, well, the Hedron contract is not really in full swing yet because no loans have matured to this point. right?
That's interesting.
So there's a couple of things to it, right? You can wrap, or, create your stakes through the Hedron protocol. They create the HSI stakes, and then you can borrow against those, or you can also put them up for sale as NFTs. But
Right.
part of that protocol is actually borrowing money against your Hedron, and then I think you have 3 months before you go default and get liquidated. Something like
Right.
that. And again, guys, don't quote me, but yeah. So we haven't even reached that 3 months yet. In fact, we're not even out of launch yet because right now we're still at a 5x claim bonus.
Yes, I noticed that
Which is-
yesterday.
which
That's
is-
very nice.
Yeah, which is halfway through.
Very
So
nice.
so actually we've had pretty good price action. I was surprised people actually bought the token. I didn't think I would see people buying it, but obviously this token is live right now on markets and can be purchased by anybody, not just Hexicans. We just happen to be able to claim it and get it for free.
Sure.
Which is awesome.
If you're staked.
Yeah.
Let's caveat that.
Yeah.
If you're staked.
By the way, if you plan to mint Hedron, just make sure you go in right before you end your stake, because you can't mint it unless the stake exists. So
Sure.
yeah, just make sure
And another
muscle
thing,
memory.
once you've restaked, remember to claim
Well,
your Hedron.
Yeah, but that's only through the bonus phase. Once the bonus phase is done, you'll no longer be claiming. You'll just mint it at the
automatically be,
end.
okay.
Yeah,
Fair
you'll
enough.
just mint it at the end. But and then so yeah, I think there's some reasonable tokenomics in there. And then of course, once Pulse Chain launches, we'll be able to bridge that token over and provide liquidity, whatever we want to do with it. And again, it's free. So
Yeah.
and it's not just a free token, but it's a free token with value, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's got some I think we'll see some price appreciation on it. Now, the PLSD, the Pulse Dogecoin, which I like the name. I really like the name.
Controversial. Very controversial.
But the thing that grabs me about this one is that the supply is capped at 12 million. And we talked about that yesterday. It's like
12 million or 12 billion?
No,
Million
12
with an M or billion with a B?
million, 12 million,
million. Right.
12 million. Yeah,
Wow.
so there are 12 million of these tokens that will only exist, right? Now, that's, the current supply of Bitcoin is somewhere around 18, 19 million right now. So there's less of these tokens than Bitcoin right now, which I think is quite cool. But here's the thing, and this is what I mentioned to you before, the thing that surprises me about this token is that, well, people are buying it. Great.
Yeah.
Hexicans keep getting free tokens and dumping them on the market, but the price is still holding. So what it means is we're minting these, and what it means to me is that the supply is still growing, right?
Yeah.
But the price is still holding, right? So even though it's in a kind of an inflation mode right now, the price isn't just tanking and nosediving down like we've seen some of these other coins do. So
Sure.
I don't know, it's pretty promising. And again, free token that, we've got a certain amount of, and they could be used later to bridge over if we wanted to provide liquidity for the pair of the E and the P versions. So, pretty cool stuff. I hope we get more free tokens. I can't complain about it. So anyway,
Well, I think there's nothing cheaper than free for a start. We've all heard that saying, and I think the main thing is to know what to do with them, and to know how they become useful, because I mean, the old adage, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Well, in this case, there kind of is, but you still have to do a little bit of work to know how to mint, to claim, how to use them, what you have to do. Because, like you said, if you end your stake before claiming the free Hedron, then you've lost it. So,
well, I think
you
one
need to
thing I
learn
would
this
say
stuff.
about like the PLSD token, the Pulse Dogecoin, right?
Yeah.
As it sits right now, it's a purely speculative asset that we get for free. It's like price movement is about the only thing. Now, is there potential for other layers and functionality to be layered onto this token later? I don't know, but it stands to reason that somebody might, right?
Yeah.
In the same way that Hedron was able to come in and write more functionality onto the Hex contract, right? In a completely separate layer. So there may be something down the road for it. But again, I think the thing that caught my eye the most was that it was capped at 12 million tokens. I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting, right? And I get to see the effect of that for free.
Sure.
Yeah. Right now.
Well, I mean, it kind of reflected in the price, because didn't it go up to $2.60 at one point?
Oh, sir, it jumped up over $3.
Wow, I mean,
its high was $3.23, and right now it's $1.56. But these things are getting minted quite a lot, I would say, these days, right? Especially especially yesterday when we had low gas fees.
Yeah, that was
reasonable gas fees for a change.
That was a good day.
yeah, because we had a few moves to make for one, right?
That was a good day.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good
that
stuff.
That could have cost a lot more than it did.
Yeah, well, but it's a good day to be alive in crypto land under the Richard Hart umbrella.
Sure.
All right.
Definitely.
Yeah. So a lot of good stuff. Of course,
would you excuse me for 2 seconds, because I just have to deal with a delivery driver that's right outside my front door right now.
Yeah. Go ahead and clip off mute your mic and clip off your video, and I'll bang on for a while.
I shall. Let me do this.
Yep. There we go. So, Hex is kind of doing this bounce around between 12 and 13 cents. Bitcoin and Ethereum are also kind of hovering and dipping and hovering and dipping. They're both in sideways mode. So, some of this may be world events affecting prices. I do know that some of the financial markets are a bit iffy right now as well, but we'll just let that Hex does what it does and earn our daily yield. Hopefully all you guys out there are staked, and if you're not, it's the right move for you. But we're at 12.42, 12 cents. So it's buying time. If you're up for a buy some of that. Hedron, how's Hedron doing for price? Hedron's got those 5 zeros looming in front of it, and 5 zeros 12796. So it's down a bit. Let me check see where it's at. Where are you, Hedron? Hedron, I think it's Hedron. But anyway, well, it's up 6% today, so it's better than it has been doing. It's kind of taken some hits, but yeah. So you got a delivery? Got some? Did you get some wire cutters?
No, I haven't yet. Thank you very much, old chap. Thanks for the reminder. Very good show there, old chap.
Inside jokes, guys, and don't want to bore anybody by telling the story because it would be boring. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I think people would agree on the outcome. But anyway, yeah. No, it was a delivery from across the pond. I actually ordered some electrician connectors for doing lights and stuff around the house. That's what they are.
Got it. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Good stuff. So that allows me to sort out all the lights in here and the cabling. And I bought them off AliExpress about 2 weeks ago. So nice, straight through the door.
All right, mate.
So yeah, good stuff. So yeah, so Hex. I heard you mention about the Hex dipping down. It's about 12 now, is it? I haven't checked recently.
Well, no, it's not really dipping. It's just trading sideways between 13 and a half and 12 and a half ish, right? It's kind of
Sure.
staying in that band.
So I mean, if people wanted to pump their bags, as so to speak, before the mainlet snapshot, then now's a good time, really, isn't it? It's on
Yeah,
sale.
I mean, yeah, if you're into the mode of pumping your bags, I would say it's a good time to buy. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, let us not forget that last year, October time-ish, maybe a bit before then, is the price was about 40 odd, and I was still buying and onboarding people at 44 cents. So, yeah, definitely now is the time to onboard people and get people into the ecosystem and get them set up, because let us not forget, you'll get double on the Pulse chain once it launches, which is fantastic.
double bubble, get the double bubble.
Yeah. Bubble, toil and trouble.
Well, and again, that's the nice thing about the Hedron and the PLSD tokens, right? We get those, we get those doubled over, and
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to taking some of these tokens. And I'm pretty sure I'll use some of my Hex to provide liquidity for the pair. Between the two chains, but having these other tokens that I can do it with and feel less nervous about, right? Especially free tokens is like free tokens. Oh, I've got free tokens over here and free tokens over here. Let me put those two together and see what happens, right? And a liquidity pair, but yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway,
like I said,
life is pretty good. Life is good.
Yeah, it's quite bright. I mean, there is. When every time the price goes down a little bit or kind of stays horizontal, people get a bit bummed out. But I think after playing with the testnet and seeing what's possible, it's quite a refreshing experience. And I basically ask anybody that's into it to give it a go, who hasn't yet. Because I do know a lot of hexagons that haven't played with testnet, as they've had a look at the site, but they haven't really interacted with it. I do know a few people that haven't even added their testnet code into their or address into their wallet. So
Right.
if you're in that situation, then just go through the steps and honestly interact with it, because it will certainly give you an insight as to what's coming around the corner, which is quite crazy.
Well, here is one other good reason for spending some time in there, especially with our token trading sideways right now. It's a nice distraction from chart watching and worrying about this price going down and blah blah blah. But it really is a nice distraction, and it's nice to see how the platform just performs and goes through its motions and processes. It's nice. I mean, it's been fun to focus on, and hey, we got somebody jumped in. Let's say hi to Marcavelli. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us.
Marcavelli 23, welcome to the chat.
You're our first listener today, but we're not on it at ideal time because I'm in China, but so be it.
I'm in the UK, so we're kind of splitting the breeze literally 8 hours apart.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, right. We are quite a bit different. We are quite a bit different on the on the time zones, but
well, you can literally see the sunshine blaring through the window at the moment. It's quite a sunny
Hey.
day here.
Hey, Marcavelli, I'm guessing you're a Hexican? Just pop into the chat and let us know you're a Hexican. If not, that's fine as well.
Yeah, we're
Right.
open to all
Yeah.
sorts.
Well, yeah,
We
for
don't
sure,
care.
right?
Teaching
Yeah.
people how to make free money, which is good.
Well, I'm not
But-
teaching anybody anything. I'm just talking about what I know.
Oh,
just saying.
but yeah.
I'm just.
I mean, the fact that I've been seeing what's possible is a real eye opener for me. That's for sure. So
I'm just
do-
speaking for
I do have Rock
myself.
to thank for that myself. But yeah,
Well, hey man, what are friends
it's
for?
fun times. What are friends for? Apart from keeping
Oh,
a
nice.
set of strippers, pliers.
So yeah, I guess let me check. Let me see if I can find Marcavelli here on Twitter. He says we're following each other. Duplicate that.
Thanks for retweeting. Anyway, get more people in. That's all very nice to hear. Thanks very much for that.
Yeah, appreciate it. Let me find Marcavelli 23. Speaking of free money, you get that poll. Yes,
We've just been talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we just got through talking about it. And Marcavelli, if you want to, you're more than welcome to jump in and chat with us here. I'm going to send you a StreamYard link, and you can, if you're not too shy, you can jump right into the stream and chit chat with us because it's just random. So let me get you an invite copied up, and there you go. If you want to jump in, I'll add you in. There you go. So, but yeah, we did
I think
get on.
I'm following
get in on
Machiavelli as well.
I'm just looking for him here. Let's see. It's Marcavelli
Machiavelli.
23.
Apologies.
Marcavelli 23. And there's a lot of Marcavellis. Okay, Marcavelli 12, Marcavelli 20. Oh boy. Yeah, that's going to be hard to find. Anyway, we'll find you later.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
tweet you his.
Marcavelli 12.
Yeah.
I see it. No, I got it right here.
Oh, you got it,
Marcavelli
okay.
12. I found you. Da-da-da. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are definitely following each other. That's great. So, yeah. Well, anyway, but like I said, if you want to jump in and chat with us, you can, or we'll just chat through the comments. But we're like I said, it's the Random Pulse and Hex Rockin' Roadshow.
Yeah.
Well, there's no agenda, just banter,
Shooting the
I
breeze.
guess. Loading the PC up. Awesome. He might jump in and join us. That'd be nice to have a new friend join us.
Oh, friend.
Oh, friend. we love friends. Oh no. I think it's gonna get wacky around here.
Suits you, sir.
Yeah, definitely, right? But anyway, it's just nice to, I'm going to go back in and reiterate why I kind of decided to do this, why we started to do this. Really, it was just to interact with the community, talk to the community, talk to people. There's no agenda. I don't need to get like subs and followers. I don't want to. It's just pure connection. We're all a bunch of people who have something pretty profound in common, and it's just good to be able to reach out, talk, discuss, learn about people. What about the bunch of old fuckers? Speak for yourself.
No, but me and Rock have been friends for a long time, and he actually onboarded me to crypto back in the day before I'd even heard of Hex. And that wasn't that long ago. I mean, maximum, what would you say, 3 years ago? Wasn't that long ago.
No, I
wasn't
think
like OG.
we got you into Bitcoin in 2020. No, it was mid
It wasn't that long
2020.
ago. Yeah.
Mid 2020
it was-
was when we got
yeah,
you
it was
into
about-
Bitcoin.
Sure.
right? Because
So,
it was right before that fall kind of takeoff, right before before PayPal started doing something with Bitcoin back in
Sure.
like I think it was no, it was August of 2020 when the price finally started to break out a little bit for Bitcoin, and
Sure.
and we kind of followed that up through the spring and of 21 until
And then there was
we
the famous.
did the switcheroo.
Yeah, we did the switcheroo, and then obviously we haven't looked back since. So, yeah, it's. And I'm based in the UK. I was there at the time, so I was lucky enough to go to the Hex second year anniversary without really knowing much about it.
He was
what it
at
was
the
about.
party.
I was at the party. I made some new friends. So yeah, I saw some UK hexagons. I met Hoddle Dog, met Richard Hart, and as I say, let's not say I met him. I had my photo taken with him, which is definitely a privilege.
You guys didn't sit down and exchange war stories for 2 hours.
Not really, no. But I put my arm around him and took a picture. That's
And what a
good
nice
enough,
picture it is.
Yeah, I was happy with it.
It's a beauty.
Thank you. And it was, like I said, he was very happy and not at all arrogant, not at all standoffish. He was extremely welcoming, and it was just fantastic. And it was, and I hope, because obviously my background is events organisation, I hope in the future that my company can be involved in producing the next one in the UK. But
looks like we got a joiner coming in here, buddy. Let's see. Machiavelli. We hear you, brother.
Hear me? Okay, cool.
What's up,
Machiavelli? How are you,
brother
my man?
Hexagon? That's
How's it
that's why.
going?
Yeah, it's going pretty good.
good.
That's why we do it, so we get to meet new people in the Hex community.
That's correct.
So, thanks a ton for jumping
what's up.
in and joining us.
Yeah, I think I saw you. Did you do a stream with Ballet Brand?
Yes, I
Rockin.
did. Yeah. That was a nice conversation I had with him. He's a good fella. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you from that.
Oh, nice. So,
Figured I'd hop on
you want to give us a little intro? Without going into too much detail, but yeah, give us a little intro to Machiavelli.
Yeah, not to dox myself too much, but yeah, I was following Richard before the Hex release, and then I didn't get in as much as I wanted to at the beginning, but I definitely got in a little bit, and I've been hanging out in the community and dollar costing in for multiple years, and now I'm pretty much retired, hanging out, trying to catch up on all your guys' streams and keep the community thriving.
Looking forward to mainnet, no doubt.
Yeah. I'm guessing you sacked in.
Yeah. And yeah, loving these free airdrops. I just saw David Feeder put out for the Staker app to be able to claim through that. So I'm going to be figuring that out today, so I can do that Pulse Dogecoin airdrop through the Staker app.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. Yeah. I don't run through Staker app, but yeah, I get it. Yeah, I've seen those tweets kind of pop around a little bit. People trying to figure out how they were going to get that claim done, but I'm quite happy with it. I would say I've And I mentioned on the stream before you got on, before you tuned in, I free claimed Bitcoin. I mean, I free claimed Hex. So I mean, I had Bitcoin and I free claimed my Hex. I didn't actually put any money in it for the first year because I didn't know enough to do so, and I just kind of watched it. I got a free kind of education into Hex. So kept an eye on the charts. Is this going to do anything? And learn more about it. And, and then I went kind of full hedge, basically, into it. So, but yeah, so I mean, I'm all about the free money.
That's kind
free
of
tokens.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I started. I put a little bit in and watched it at the beginning, and then it outcompeted all my other tokens or whatever. So I just started. I went all in at on leading up to big payday, I think.
Nice.
Yeah,
so you got that.
turned out
So you
earlier
got a
than me.
big payday, right?
Yeah, I've got my main staking ladder has the big payday bonus on it, so I'm pretty
Beautiful.
happy about that.
Yeah, that's good. So you were able to retire off of your yield, I guess, or is it for some other reason? I mean, without giving up the goods.
Yeah. Yeah, without doxing myself. Just through having a staking ladder set up, I've got significant stakes coming out every few months or whatever, so I can scrape the interest, and I'm just basically adding up the T-share amount, what you're getting paid out, and like calculating that throughout the staking ladder. So it's just whatever.
Oh, that's nice. So here's the real question. So if you don't feel comfortable, say what was your profession, and if it doesn't give too much info.
No, I've worked everything, like saved money my whole life and working, adult foster care places, restaurants, construction, cleaning services. Like I've worked all types of random jobs and just saved money over time, being a proletariat. And yeah.
So then here's actually the big question. What are you doing with your free time, brother?
Streaming with us.
Yeah, I'm actually like diversified into real estate now, and I'm just like keeping up on the property, and hoping to develop. And I really would like to be able to, use those properties and understand like loans and whatnot, because it's so hard to get loans when you don't have like a regular 9 to 5 or whatever. So like every time they want a credit check, and then they want to see your pay stubs, see how much money's coming in. So, and I haven't looked into the liquid loans thing, but I mean the concept of being able to, if we're our own bank through, being set up through Hex, like to be able to give yourself a loan would be a huge thing. Like that's how all these.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty familiar with liquid loans, and I just think there are a lot of moves to be made in that protocol once it's up and running to allow you to generate more assets, but also the fact that you can if you really over collateralize, keep yourself safe from getting liquidated. I think it's extremely useful to be able to draw value out of your crypto without selling your pulse, right? And of course you've got loan tokens, and then you've got the USDL token, and all these tokens could be staked into the different kind of parts of the protocol to allow you to generate more of those assets. So yeah, and we did also talk a little bit about Mintra today, because I think we both sacrificed a bit in for Gerardo on Mintra, and
yeah, I did a little set on that.
Yeah. So have you gone into testnet and done the staking?
No, I haven't. I haven't actually messed around on the testnet at all. I don't know. I've been trying.
Well, we've just been sitting here going on that people should go in and really use it, but yeah.
I tell you why. Why that reaction is because obviously Rock was telling me, "Hey man, you need to get on this. You need to get some muscle memory." And I'm like, "Oh, it's like complicated." But literally, I connected the wallet and went onto it and started to interact. Within the first 2 weeks, I didn't know what the heck I was doing, and then I got some crash courses from Rock, and it's just really interesting to see. And during the price of Hex at the moment, because it's kind of a little bit low and it's perfect to buy before the fork, it kind of takes your mind off that, because you're looking at the possibilities that mainnet can do with adding liquidity, gaining an incentive token, harvesting an incentive token, using that incentive token to add more liquidity, and it's literally like a money printer. And it's like, wow, this is going to be quite amazing when it comes to fruition,
Yeah, you are sacked in, right?
So that's why the reaction, because I was the same as you. I was like, oh, this is a bit,
Yeah, I sacrificed for Mintra, Pulse X, and Pulse Chain, and I'm just. I mean, I watch K4K videos, and I watch all these different things, and like all this yield farming. Like I understand all those. I understand the concepts, but I haven't gone in there and tested any of it because I mean it's just so much. I mean, I don't even want to right now. I was just trading some Hedron and messing around with that, and it's just like. And now I got to figure out the Staker app free claim for the Pulse Dogecoin thing. And it's just like, and I got all this other shit to do. So
I do think that one is probably a priority to go ahead and get those free PSLD tokens, PLSD
you
tokens.
You do got 100 days.
Yeah, but it's probably better to get it done, right? But we were talking about that. I really like that token because it's capped at 12 million for one thing. Right? It will never have more than 12 million, at least as it sits now. I don't think that would be changed or could be changed. It's pretty much finished. Hex Info has said, I'm not doing anything else with it, right? He's just like, but the thing I was talking to Tim about earlier, HeXharrison earlier about, was that so it's capped at 12 million. We've got a lot of hexagons that are free claiming it and dumping those tokens on the market, but it's still holding kind of a good value. So it's shot up over $3. Now it's down around $1.50, but it's kind of gone through its dips when people getting their free tokens and dumping them. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting token, but I would say that. So one of the things I was talking to HeXharrison about is that I have a daily routine that I go through with PulseX that takes me less than 20 minutes. Most of the time it's an average of 10. And I basically touch just about every part of the protocol. I get the free Ethereum. I bridge that over, so I use the bridge. I bridge that over every day. I create the liquidity pair with that Ethereum free, that Ethereum test token. So I create a liquidity pair there. I have all 5 farms set up, right? I go into the validator, but I just have this routine every day that I go through and make all the moves, harvest all the incentive tokens, and feed them back in. So I think if you can find a way to fight through the initial learning curve and then get a routine early on, I think it'll go a long way to helping you. But, I just like the fact that I can push buttons and not worry about getting wrecked, So, yeah. Anyway, but by the way, if you want any guidance on that at all, I'll hook up with you on Skype and walk through some of that with you. It'd be quite easy to do. Up to you.
I haven't been over on there yet. It's just like, I know liquidity pairs, like there's a lot of different ways where you can, not do that correctly. So it's like, I almost just don't even want to learn any of that just so I don't mess it up.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what I was talking about before, because first off, let's just talk about, for me, this is me. This is what my plan is. I've got free Hedron. I've got free PLSD tokens, right? So those to me are perfect for bridging over and creating a liquidity pair for them, right? Like no brainer for me, right? Because, there's that thing about impermanent loss. And I'll tell you that I don't have, a complete wrapped around, brain, mindset about how the impermanent loss works. But I do understand enough of it to know that, if I put in a pair and I could end up with a lot less of my pulse, right? Or whatever. So, and then also there's a bit of a risk with a token going way up in value while it's in the liquidity pair, and you lose that appreciation. And beyond that, I don't know that much detail. But again, when it comes to something like, I probably will take some of my hex and create a hex pair of liquidity on Pulse Chain just to help that price find equilibrium and get the rewards from it also, I think. But the farms, I think, once things are wound up and going, I think they could end up being fairly lucrative for yield on the farms. And then there's the Pulse X pool, which allows you to stake your Pulse X, and you get a PRT token, which basically is a third-party token. It's like, again, I'm closing my eyes and throwing a dart at the board to say that those tokens will represent the tokens that, like, maybe SHIB or something decides they want to be part of the Pulse X pool, so we could stake our Pulse X and end up rewarding those third-party tokens from that. Anyway, it's a little bit difficult and a bit deep, but understanding, what you need to do in the platform is pretty straightforward, actually.
Yeah, that's what getting that like hedron, and then not being able to stake it is just like such a pain in the ass. Like with Pulse X, like if I can stake it, that's like an absolute necessity. And that's like with Pulse Chain. I don't know if you can stake Pulse Chain though. Have you heard anything about that, or do you got to do?
Well, yeah. Your pulse gets, you can stake it to the validators, right? And I'll give you the rough shot rundown, but Pulse Chain will run on validators instead of miners, right? That you probably know, and those validators set up systems that validate the transactions, right? And they have to have a certain amount of pulse, like a large amount. And then we can delegate our pulse to them, and then they collect the transaction fees. And then by delegating our pulse to them, we share in those transaction fees, right?
Yeah,
so
I'll probably do that, and I'll stake the Pulse X, and just so I'd have incentive not to sell. Because if it's just sitting there and not collecting any yield or earning any fees, then it's just like, I mean, what are you going to do with a bunch of all these tokens just sitting there, just waiting for price appreciation? Like, it's not easy to sit there and hold when you're not getting any yield. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I do think so. One of the things that I'll say is that my obviously we know that hex, how it works, right? We use it to make more hex, right? But I kind of, once I started thinking about, after sacrificing into Pulse Chain, looking into liquid loans and what it did, I kind of had this switch of mindset. Is just accumulating assets that I can then use to accumulate more assets, basically, right? And that is what we do with Hex, right? Get a bag built up. We say, okay, now I'm going to use this bag to retire by getting yield from it or whatever. So, yeah. But in all seriousness, if you do want a rundown on on Pulse Chain, I would be more than happy to go in with you on it. Like I said, a Skype call or whatever, and just go blah 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 blah. Here's the stuff, you know. Did you happen to get it set up? Did you get the testnet set up in your wallet yet?
No, I haven't even messed with it on there. I understand like the concept. I've seen, I mean, like Heinz Crypto, he's done a bunch of different stuff with it. He's worked with me a little bit, but I just like, I don't know. It's funny how, you know, Richard Hart says, don't beta test other people's stuff. And then he wants you to beta test his stuff. So it's just like, I mean, yeah, I am getting paid to do it, but at the same time, it's like, you tell people not to beta test other people's stuff, and then you want them to beta test your stuff.
I think the real thing for me, the real thing for me is just being prepared. I just want to be fully as prepared as possible when we actually launch, which and there's, I guess what I would say is that, you know, getting it set up in your wallet, getting in and starting to figure out all the navigation around all the functionality, then it's a rabbit hole. Then you're there and you're like, oh my God. And the excitement builds. You're going, this is going to be nuts, right? So, but anyway, I think that's one reason to do it. But I mean, I think it's, you know, we kind of provide the fodder for squashing bugs, right? And that's fine. Now, I've been in software for a long time, so I get that.
It's helping the mainnet come out quicker. The more people that are using it, you know, fix the bugs quicker, and then it comes out quicker. So yeah, you're doing everyone else a service by doing that. I'm not gonna do it.
That's cool. I mean, to each his own. Yeah. You just want to sit back and chill on the ride. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to mess with the market. I'm, you know, trading probably a little more than I should, but it's like, I'd rather do that because it's real money rather than on the test net. It's like, yeah, you can get your ideas, but you know, if you're not watching the market, then you're also missing out on opportunities there. If you're all over in this, you know, play money situation, which, yeah, you want a strategy, but at the same time, you know, you want a bigger bag on the way over there. Like like trying to time and buy more hacks on these dips and stuff. Like, I'd rather have more of that than more test pulse.
Yeah, sure. I get it. I get it. Like I said, for me, it's just about understanding, okay, now I know what I'm going to do when I get there. That's the real key for me. That's another thing though, is like, if you're doing that though, then you have, you know, you've got all these arbitrage bots and they're setting up the whole system. So maybe they set up the system where it behooves you to have a strategy. Maybe they'll set up the system that it will help you over there. But at the same time, people are learning your strategy, and then they're gaming your strategy before the testnet even comes out. They're going to understand everything you're going to do already, and then they're going to play against that. So I'd rather just like not know what I'm going to do and then see how it turns out, and then I'll pick and point where it's like, And I think it's going to be that way for me anyway. I mean, there are going to be no hard decisions about what I'm going to do, but I will guarantee you that the moves that I end up making will be the lowest risk moves possible. Right? And that's really the key. That's gonna. I mean, I'm a low risk guy. Like I said, I sat on free hex for a year before I made any moves. Right? You know, I mean, I am definitely that guy. I've got to have a pretty clear vision of where I'm going before I take the first step. So, but yeah, I mean, cool. I mean, it's all good, but it's just a matter of the best use of your time, I guess. But I can't seem to get my mind into or myself into a mindset of wanting to trade at all. I never did. In fact, when I went into crypto, it was to hold, right? And that's why I got the Bitcoin. I didn't buy it to try to make quick money. I just like, I'm going to put my money here and let it do what it does. But Yeah, I've made some purchases that didn't go well. A few of them, right? Watching charts like, oh, this thing is going, and it's like, oh, let me buy some, and then no. Like I told, I was on stream last time. I was talking to Johnny Chaos. Like a year ago in the spring, I bought like Doge and Chainlink, and it was doing great. And my Dogecoin actually appreciated quite a bit, and it went up to 50 cents, and then it just started free falling. And I didn't buy it quite at the top, but I bought it pretty close. And then the chain link, kind of the same thing happened. And so basically I ended up, I think I put $1,000 into each. And between those two, I ended up converting them into Hex for the sacrifice at somewhere around 25% of the value I bought in at, right? But I'm just like, these are going into Pulse Chain. Yeah, I threw everything into Hex, Fiat, ETH, every token I had, I converted it to Hex, let that Hex ride up, for that Pulse launch, for the Pulse Chain sacrifice, I mean. But that was a fun time, man. Was that fun? HeXharrison going through the...
Yes.
We had so much fun.
Sorry, I had to dive off and take a phone call. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, I've had my share of watching candles going up and down, and it's not as fun as what I'm learning now on the Pulse chain, definitely. So
yeah,
but having passive income is definitely the way to go.
Marcovelli has said he is not going to go in and spend much time in testnet, if any. He's got a different strategy than we do for sure, and that's respectable, right?
Well, if it works, whatever works.
Exactly.
We're all we're all independent. Whatever works for you, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll put money towards the David Feeder's validator node, like stake your Pulse over there, and then I'll stake the Pulse X, and I'll do a percentage, and then it'll probably be a huge percentage until I can start reading the market, and then I won't be as staked, and I'll try to, because there will probably be so much arbitrage between Pulse X and Pulse. It's like one day Pulse will be 1 to 4, and then the next day it's like 1 to 6, and it's just like you're gonna make so much more through trading than you're gonna make validating, which
you mean like ratio trading.
It is stressful,
right?
yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll probably do a little bit of that even before, like as soon as it comes out, I'll probably mess around with that a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of just addicted to trading. Like that's why I love staking, because it's just like
it keeps keeps your hot hands off the coins.
yeah. I love staking. Like when I can, but like I got to stay a little liquid right now because I got a couple things coming up. So I got a few grand on the side that I'm just playing with because I'm going to have to sell it anyway. So I'm just trying to make a couple extra bucks with it while I can. And if I didn't have to do that, then yeah, I just stake everything and have my staking ladder filled up as much as I can, because I can't out trade what I'm making in T-shares. Like it's absurd to even try, but it's still fun. I just like it almost keeps me more involved. It just like keeps me more involved in the community to be like, oh, Hedron's over here and Hex is over here, and people are talking shit on Twitter and losing their minds, and now Maxi's coming out and blah blah blah.
There's plenty of that going on.
Yeah, there's so much of that going on. But I mean, if you're completely staked, you almost have nothing to say because you can't even put in towards the max. I mean, if you had no liquid Hex, you're bringing in new money, or you're just not doing these things, So it's like whatever. Like I like being a little liquid just to play around.
I got to tell you, Marcovelli, I just cannot find any way to be comfortable having liquid Hex. If it's not staked, I'm not comfortable. I mean, it's true. I find myself as like, I'm going to leave some liquid Hex in my wallet, and I'm like, no, I'm not. It's I want to get, I just can't seem to. I can't seem to let it not work for me. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you may have other things
Yeah,
for it to
especially-
work for you.
like with the hedron with the multiplier, like I staked out 15 years a bunch of stuff to get that 10x multiplier, and now that multiplier is going down, I'm not as easy to stake right away. So, but yeah, I'm staked beyond my staking ladder is just, I mean, everything. It's just in between stakes. If I got like 100 some days before my next stake comes undone, and I got to stay enough liquid, to pay bills between then. And then in the meantime, like I'm not going to do, a 10-day stake with 10 grand or whatever. You barely even break even. I mean, you could, but it's like,
Well, not
really
until
a
the
point to
Pulse
do.
chain launches, because I mean, I was going to do stakes, ladder stakes on the Pulse chain simply because gas fees.
Yeah, that's
It would cost me more in gas than I would actually get from the yield. So definitely, I'm looking at getting, and I'm curious to know what you think the price of Hex is going to be on the Pulse chain compared to on the Ethereum chain. I'm quite curious on your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Cream the Dream or whatever, and
Kareem, yeah.
he was saying that.
Kareem the Dream, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to him. Yeah, I was talking to him, and he was basically saying that the whales are like super incentivized to have parity between Pulse Hex and eHex because they don't want that arbitrage opportunity if they're providing liquidity on the both pair, because there's no impermanent loss. If you want Hex, you get Hex. If you're doing the liquidity providing between the two, and then I mean, if they weren't the exact same price, if there wasn't parity, then people are making money off of you. So the whales with big Hex bags have huge incentive to have both Hex be the same price, so they don't get wrecked through arbitrage bots. So I figure that's going to happen.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Well,
because then
I
obviously-
mean, sorry,
Yeah,
Tim. Sorry, Hex
sorry.
Harrison.
Sorry, I'm Tim, by the way. Just
Tim.
in case anybody didn't know.
I don't know how I'm going to avoid that in the future, but
No, I'm Hex
yeah,
Harrison on Twitter, but yeah,
Hex
personal is Tim, that's
Hex Harrison on Twitter. Anyway, but yeah, I just feel like I want to make sure that I have liquid Hex available at launch, and so because I think I definitely want to provide that liquidity with Hex, right? Are you planning to do that, Marcavelli?
Yeah, that'd be something I would definitely be interested in. Depending on, like, I haven't provided liquidity, but I mean, depending on what the fees are, and I mean, it's probably going to be easier for me. Like, I'm not going to have $100,000 worth of Hex to provide liquidity with, unless it was, worth it, where I could just take income out like every week on it. But I heard, like, if you provide liquidity, there's situations where it costs like, $300 to $700 to pull your liquidity depending on time. So it's like it'd probably be easier just to stake p-hex and have a tighter staking ladder with p-hex because there's no gas fees.
Right. Well,
So I'll
that's
probably
kind of
just
what.
do that.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking, is do some ladder work on Pulse chain.
Yeah,
just
that's
'cause the
definitely my goal.
fees. But yeah, we luckily ended some stakes yesterday and got in on those gas fees yesterday morning, or it was yesterday morning here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in China, by the way. That's why we have such an odd time. So
Yeah, I'm
I'm
in the
here
UK.
in-
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, so I'm in China, Tim's in the UK, and I'm guessing you're in the US somewhere, in some time zone in the US.
Yeah, I'm actually in Middle Earth. I'm broadcasting from the Black Sun.
That's great, man. I've always wanted to talk to somebody from there, man. Yeah. Now I've got another. Now I've got another locale to mark on the map.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go feed my red-haired giants here soon and make some more steaks.
Yeah, I've got to get off and get my day down the supermarket sorted. It's shopping day today. Spend some of that yield
stuff. well, Marcavelli, man, thanks a lot for coming in and talking to us, man. It's great to meet you.
It's been a pleasure to meet you and listen to you. It's fantastic.
This is why we're doing it. I mean, you see, the nice thing is you have a completely different outlook on the whole thing than we do. Maybe not completely, but a different outlook. And so hearing other people's kind of how they plan to interact, it's good. It's good to have that variety of kind of insight, and that's why we're doing it. So perfect. Sure. But I will tell you that anytime you see me pop up in Twitter, you're absolutely welcome to join us if you got the time, man. I'd love to have you back. Sure. Yeah, and like I said,
I love all the Hex.
Go ahead.
All the Hex streamers, I'm always, trying to retweet and hop on with. I love the live streams. It's like the only thing that like really gets me going. Like I love the interaction with the community and stuff, and picking people's brains. And that's the thing with me, like having a different outlook on these things. It's like I only have so much brain activity I can, put into this stuff, and it's just like I'm so preoccupied with the market, and I'm just, addicted to trading and whatnot. So I haven't put as much time in all of that. But, if the yield farming is actually a high percentage, I mean, I don't know. It basically matters with price appreciation. Like if if both hexes go up to $1, then I mean, it almost doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just probably going to do the easiest thing, which is just staking P hex. Like, if hex is at $1, you can just stake, X amount of hex every week, like these whales are doing, and you can just collect, $1,000 a week. Like that's pretty much what I want to do is just have an easy way
from
to
your lips to
pull
God's ears, my
$1,000.
friend. That's what I want to do too.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Exactly.
But I do think you're kind of right. I mean, I think if Hex does go to $1 on both chains, or it finds some kind of, stability around that price, I think there's a lot of people who maybe even just got in last year, who are going to be, they are going to get the freedom that they were hoping to get from it, right? And at the end of the day, that's really, to me, what it's all about. It's a bit of freedom in not having to, do somebody else's bidding to finance your life, right? I think to me that's the main key to it, and I say kudos to you, brother, being able to just focus on something that you want to focus on. I just think it's great. But
yeah. Other than being addicted to watching the markets, I do have free time, enough free time to like look up stuff that I wouldn't even have the time normally to be able to look into. And I feel like that's going to be the huge thing is like, crypto's great and everything, but crypto's here so we can free up our time and then build a community and actually, have those connections where we can free ourselves in other ways. And, with our time being free, like I've been able to look up, like, I don't know if you ever look up Dave Weiss's Flat Earth Dave guy, but I mean, there's so much stuff that like I'm looking into now that I have more time, where it's just really broadening my horizons, and like it feels like we're just like the world is just changing so quickly right now, and it's just like the best time for people to become financially free so they can be a part of this new world that's happening. Like this shit's crazy. Like
so I always say Hexaco. We're all going to move to Hexaco before long, right?
Right. Yeah.
That would be absolutely great.
I know. I'm looking forward to that as well. Yeah. Sorry, Rock. You were saying.
the thing that I always preach is that it's I think really we're experiencing kind of a new financial revolution, and being able to be a part of it. Now we're not 2012 early, but I think we're still quite early, and we're fortunate to have this kind of doorway into, the pulse chain, a new kind of a new version of the whole system, kind of, and it's obviously not all 100% innovative, but I do think that Richard Hart has done a good job of kind of, cherry picking what works and fixing what doesn't, and I like that. And of course, we've benefited from his design on Hex and wanting to do something that was actually better for people, and that's pretty awesome, Anyway,
I think so.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? I mean, could I feel more lucky that I was able to recognize the opportunities that were there with Hex and now with Pulse Chain, right? It's amazing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is another thing. It encourages you to be able to get into Hex. It reinstills your decision making skills. It's like, oh wow, I was able to make this right decision, and it was based on these parameters, how I got into it, and now I'm going to continue to use those parameters to make better choices in the future, and it's more than likely going to help out, or it's going to work out because it worked out for this. So
Sure.
it's
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it is so exciting. I really like the political aspect of things, of the nation state concept, and just the concept of how Richard Hart used the parameters of the Federal Reserve to build Hex. And it's just a wealth transfer beyond belief. And once people wake up to the idea of we set the price, we're the ones getting the yield, we're the ones setting the price. And Johnny Chaos talks about that all the time. It's a hex is worth Hex is worth 13 cents because you're selling at 13 cents. Hex is worth $1 because you're not selling until it's $1. I love that.
Yeah.
Once we all get up, once we all get on the same page and understand that we have the power and work together like that, then
well, interestingly enough, this is the second live stream that I've done from the Rock Edison stuff.
I was just going to say that.
The first stream was a week ago, and Johnny Chaos came on out of the blue. I just DM'd him. I'd been trying to talk to him and meet him and I just said, brother, I'm doing a live stream, man. Jump in if you can. He says, give me a minute. I'm like, what? Johnny Chaos. So I think we talked for 5 hours, or at least 4. We talked it was 5 hours.
And
the stream was 5 hours. My first live stream was 5 hours. What?
Yeah.
But,
that's it.
Just a heads up, this one isn't going to be that long anyway.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been live with Johnny I've been live with Johnny a few times, and he's very much long-winded, but it's he's got all the time in the world now because of Hex, and it's just we have to channel these brains and minds and this energy into the right channels and actually do something with it, where it's not where, oh wow, Hex goes up to $5 and now Johnny's building a fucking Ferris wheel in his backyard just for the hell of it. It's we need we need to have an actual plan of building Hexaco, rather than just giving our money back to, we're gonna build up, I'm in America or whatever, Johnny's in America. It's why would we spend our money in the country that's trying to steal our fucking money? We need to actually put our money and resources towards something that is going to be ours. Because if you build anything in America, you don't own it, because the tax man can just say, oh yeah, you owe me whatever, and now this Ferris wheel's mine. It's
Sure.
we need to have something that can actually be ours. We need a foundation of sorts. And it's Richard Hart, you guys are not in America or whatever, but I mean, China's definitely not any better when it comes to this stuff, and the UK is getting cracked down or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, we have no, even if we, like with Richard Hart, he has unlimited amounts of money and he's still not free. Like he can't even go to America. Like how annoying would it be to have all the resources in the world and then be told like you can't go somewhere? Like that would be so annoying. So like we really need to use our minds and money and resources to be like, money goes where it's treated best. So it's like,
Sure.
Where the fuck is that? Like we need to have somewhere to put that. Like I don't want to build the infrastructure up or build up my community when my government doesn't love me, and not only doesn't love me but hates me and wants to steal all my money. Like we need to have somewhere to go with our brain and our money and our resources. That's not just like, oh well, you're just another slave. Like you don't get to have that. Like that's how I like. I really wish we had hexagon stuff.
Well, I mean, I think there certainly there will be options down the road that may not be obvious now, but you know, I am a U.S. citizen, and my take is a little bit different. I'm quite okay with paying taxes. Now that said, I'm not okay with paying too much taxes. I'm not okay with contributing an unfair amount when there are quite a few people that, you know, draw a lot of money from infrastructure, from the economy, a lot of profits that don't really contribute back to that. Because to me, tax is about support of community. And I don't think it's held that value very well. So for me, I mean, I don't mind paying my taxes at all. But when it's starting to look like for us people in crypto that we may end up, at least for a while, or through some phase, we'll end up paying undue amounts, right? Just because the regulation isn't sorted out yet. But that's just me, and again, I think that's kind of why it's nice to connect with so many people from the community and get the different perspectives of people. But I've just always kind of had that mindset, you know. But
I would love. I'm just saying, like I would love to feel as if the taxes were being spent in a way that was going to benefit me and the people in my community. But I know it's not doing that. It's like Ukraine is asking for like $50 billion. Like they're going to be getting so much money every month from U.S. taxpayers. And then I was just looking at like Minneapolis wants $50 million to rebuild their city after like protesters burn it down. And it's like, this money is going towards morons, and it's not getting us anywhere. Like it's going for the military industrial complex, and it's going to kill. Like literally, the money we're putting towards that is just coming back to kill us in every form and fashion. So it's just like I don't like it. It's just like here, take my money and then kill me with my own money. Thank you so much. Not only kill me, but kill my kids too. Send them to war in Ukraine. Like, give me a break.
Oh, by the way, the pothole in the road outside your house has been there for 5 years, and it still hasn't been fixed.
Yeah, my road is so fucking potholed up. It's so terrible.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, go ahead.
I was just saying, like this, like Mad Energy. I don't know if you've looked up with that, but like Crypty Girl or whatever, she's into the Mad Energy, and it's like, if we used our resources, if we used our tax dollars, like they could have free energy for the planet with like $50 million. Like you want to send $50 million to Minneapolis to rebuild their city when we could spend that money and have free energy for the whole planet. Like with $50 million. Yet we send trillions of dollars to black market like military projects. When that money, if it was used correctly, we could solve world hunger. We could have free energy. I mean, all these things are so possible, and then we just have people that don't use the resources correctly. Not only do they not use it correctly, but they use it so selfishly, where Nancy Pelosi makes $50 million in stock market insider trading with our money because she's in charge of what companies get the right money. It's just such a joke.
I mean,
Such a joke.
she earns
And it's just like,
she earns $100,000 a year salary, and she's worth 200 million. You work that one out.
yeah, it is like, yeah. And Martha Stewart went to prison for insider trading, yet Nancy Pelosi's just like, oh yeah, making all this money through insider trading, and it's not a big deal. And it's just like those projects that the money goes towards, it never turns into anything worthwhile. Like Bill Gates is like buying up all the farmland in America, and then you got BlackRock buying all the real estate, and it's not going to help anybody. It's going to help those motherfuckers. Like, and that's all it's always been.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
Always been. And it's just so disgusting. Like, there's so little amount of resources that we would need to have the things that we need, and it just never goes towards it. It always disappears into these politicians' bank accounts that are hidden behind a corporate entity like BlackRock or Vanguard. It's like, oh yeah, you don't even get to know who these people are, or the people that run the Federal Reserve System. It's like these people get to decide where all the make-believe money goes, and it goes towards their companies that they're invested in, and you don't get to see how they're making all the money because you don't even get to see who owns these companies. It's such a scam and such a joke on so many different levels, where it's just like, it's just hilarious.
Don't even start the fact that all those companies are responsible for 75% of the advertising on CNN and all the other news channels in America. Their money comes from
propagate us over.
Yeah, exactly. Brought to you by Pfizer.
And then they do that in the school system, where it's just like they just train you to blindly follow authority figures. Like, don't question anybody or anything. Just if this person's in charge, listen to them and don't worry about it. Like, that's how they train us from birth to the grave. And then like the concept of credulousness. Like, I went to school for like international business marketing a little bit. Like, I took a couple classes. I didn't, graduate or whatever because it's a joke. But it's like the credulousness, like in Canada or whatever, they aren't allowed to lie in advertising. Yet in America, they're allowed to lie because we're supposed to be smart enough, even though we're educated by the same cocksuckers that are lying to us in advertising. Like, it's so it makes no sense at all. And it just continues to happen day after day after day. Like, I'm watching my kids go to school learning lies, and then it's like I'm over here trying to learn, oh yeah, the earth might be flat. Or actually it is. And they've been lying about all this other crazy shit. And we're just trapped in this idea of, oh yeah, this is the earth. We're in like this little area. And then there's people there. I mean, the earth could be an infinite plane, and there's just other civilizations just 1,000 miles over there. Like, I see fucking UFOs every time I look at the fucking sky. It's like, what the hell are these things? And yet I have to pay $5 for a gallon of gas and $5 for a gallon of milk. Yet there's fuckers flying around in the sky using crazy technology that I don't even understand.
To be honest, I thought those were Elon Musk satellites. That's what they were. But they're trying to get this test thing.
That was another thing. Like, so I saw those in the sky. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them, but like the satellite things, I literally
not in China, mate.
Yeah. No, I saw them where I'm at. And it literally went up like they were in an absolute perfect straight line. It was just light, light, light. And it went on forever in both directions. And it was absolutely perfect straight line. And then the next day they say, oh yeah, Elon Musk is putting these satellites in the sky. The day after I saw it, that's when they tell me. It's like, how convenient that we have so convenient that Elon Musk is putting satellites in the sky, because yesterday I thought we were fucking under attack from UFOs and aliens and shit. It's like, so glad that you told me the next day after I see this crazy stuff. Like, I don't believe Elon Musk at all on anything. Like, I think he's a complete shill. Like, he's just their excuse. It's like, oh, well, you see crazy stuff in the sky. We can blame it on Elon Musk. Don't worry about the advanced civilizations 1,000 miles that way. Just Elon Musk is the one who's so smart doing these things. It's like, no, I doubt it. Like, I don't even have, like, my internet's trash, and I'm trying to get that internet from Elon, and it's not even available. It's like, I just saw infinite amount of satellites in the sky last summer. Last summer, I saw all these satellites. Where the fuck they go?
No, you can't get the internet.
Now I can't even get the internet. Yet I'm having a panic attack because I think I'm under attack from the Mars civilization, and I can't even get internet. It's like, I saw all the satellites. They're up there. There's fucking tons of them, supposedly. Yeah. Or there's someone else's satellite. I haven't seen them since.
I have.
Like, there were so many of them.
I have a really good idea for you, Marcovelli. I think you should take all of this energy and figure out a stand-up routine, man. Because, right, the ironic stand-up comic. Because I think you would kill. You definitely got the passion for it. It's like, I see freaking satellites going over. They're supposed to be giving me internet, and I'm sitting here on fucking dial-up. What the hell's going on around here? Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's funny. Well, if it was up to Mark Zuckerberg, I was saying, if it was up to Mark Zuckerberg, we'd all be in the basement with goggles on, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
Oh God! Please don't get started.
Don't
Don't get started on goggles, please. My sides are busting already.
Oh,
yeah. But how about?
I just saw a thing with Zuckerberg. Like, he's trying to get into the schools. Like, he wants to set up the school programming, like, you know, how they had Zoom online, like basically all your schooling they want to have online, and then they want Zuckerberg in charge, so they can. The way that is that it's all data farming. Like, you know, that's kind of why I'm not doing the pulse chain testnet. It's like it's collecting my data and learning ways to use it against me, and that's all that like Zuckerberg wants to do with the schooling. Once you get all these little kids putting in these programs, it's like they got their fresh minds, they have a fresh outlook, and then they take all the information from this creativity and they use it against us. Like, that's their plan, is to have schooling set up that way. And it's always been that way, but they're just going to be able to do it in a way where they can collect so much more data to use against us. And it's just like, they're not using it for our benefit, they're using it to further enslave us. And it's just, oh my God, it's just so ridiculous.
I think this is a perfect time for a little music break from Rock Edison. How are you on music, Marcovelli? You a music fan?
Yeah, I'm a rapper. I've been rapping since, like, you know, for 20 years or whatever. I've been spitting them hot freestyles forever.
Nice. So
so I love music. Yeah.
So Rock Edison is I make music, right? And I've got a YouTube channel up, and what I will do is I will take a 3 minute and 26 second break to play a Rock Edison tune YouTube video live on stream. You good with that? Sit through 3 and 26 minutes. All right. So this song is called Making Music. It's purely instrumental. I wrote it back in 2013 and just finished it about 2 months ago. So here it is, pure rock. I'm going to share it up, and we'll go for now, and then I'll check back in with you guys as soon as it finishes. Where's my share screen? Rock and roll with Rock Edison. Live radio. Yeah, there we go.
Play the satellite free mix.
I am going to play. There we go. So let's get this thing rolling. I hope the sound is good. You can rap to this if you want to, brother. How's it sound, Tim? It's okay? Yes. Rock and roll, baby. Rock and roll. There's my Four Dog Studio. RockEdisonMusic.com.
Indeed. And on that note, gentlemen, I'm going to love you and leave you.
Oh, all right.
Machiavelli, it was very nice to talk to you, very nice to meet you, and I hope to see you around and back in the stream before too long.
Yeah, for sure.
Heck yeah, I'll follow you back on Twitter.
I will do.
All right.
I'll do that right now.
Yeah, hit that. Yeah, but I guess we've been following each other for a little while, haven't we, Marcavelli? I think so.
Yeah, for sure. That's hot.
I'm following you already, brother.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm following you already.
Yeah,
so
we're OGs basically.
We're all OG.
Yes.
We're OG friends. Now we've met face to face. Anyway, it's great. I do think I do think I'll close it down. Are you okay? I'm gonna go ahead and shut down and go get a bite to eat. And Marcavelli, I will hit you on DM and just give you a heads up next time we're gonna roll this thing. Okay?
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, much appreciated for you to come on, man. Thank you so much. So, adios.
Cheers, gentlemen. Been fantastic.
Goodbye. Bye. See you, Marcavelli.